Well, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. It is 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 Central, and it is Monday, the 10th of February, 2014. Tonight's video is being sponsored again by High Voltage Mobile DJ Service. You can call Nathan at 630-9465 or visit him on the web at djhighvoltage.com. All right, folks. Thankfully, we've got some nice weather on the way for a change. This is one of those forecasts that I really like to report for once because I don't have any accumulating snow in the forecast for a few days. And boy, that's a nice break compared to what we've had. I'm still waiting for that day whenever I can say mostly sunny and 73 for a few days in a row. I'm really looking forward to that. Sometimes I get tired of forecasting winter weather. I know many of you are in that same boat. This has been a long winter, but hang in there. I do have some relief on the way and a little bit more of a return to normal temperatures, if nothing else. But hey, we've got high pressure large and in charge, and that's this big ring that you see here in this isobar. This is a pretty strong high. That's unfortunately going to keep our temperatures very low tonight. We're going to go down to the very low single digits across the area tonight. You do notice some rain to our south and some really some ice to our south. Now, the southern part of the region here is going to be dealing with some very just an absolute mess on their hands, and really anywhere from sort of in this area in here, you're going to be dealing with sort of a mix of rain, sleet, freezing rain, and potentially some snow mixing in. In fact, the National Weather Service is calling for up to 3/4 of an inch of ice in places down along in here. So not a pretty picture for them whatsoever, but you know, it's not up here, and I hate to wish it on anybody else, because if you followed the winter storm that was in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, pretty much an inch of snow and just a little bit of ice shut the city down. They're looking at potentially 3/4 of an inch of ice. This is not a pretty situation from them. So they're going to be shut down for days the way things look, and it's not good. But around here, high pressure is large and in charge for the next couple of days, and we're golden as far as that goes. We do have some more storms brewing out for this weekend, and I want to switch out here and throw our satellite on for out west. I can only show part of the satellite in this particular program I use, but if I just, let me zoom in just enough to be able to get this in view. You got Alaska right up in view here, and if you notice this little tiny swirl right here, this is the beginnings of our next storm system for this weekend. This is essentially an upper level low pressure right now. That is eventually going to be moving our way. Before it does so, there's a bigger low pressure that's sort of in here. And this little upper level low is going to sort of track along like this before it gets caught up in the jet stream. Once it gets caught up in the jet stream, it's sort of going to take a nosedive like this and come down towards us. Now from here, it depends on the model as to what goes on. Some models, like the GFS, wants to take it more to our north, which would give the snow more towards us and just more away from us rather, and leave us out. On the other hand, you have other models that want to take it more in a path along like this, which would bring accumulating snows down into here and sort of us on the edge. So this is certainly something that we're going to have to keep an eye on, and unfortunately the forecast is just up in the air at this point. Let's take a look at the models over the coming few days and we'll get an idea. Here's the snow and ice storm developing in the south, but you see high pressure large and in charge over us, so that's going to be nice. Pretty decent icing event going to be happening for them down there, along with some rain. And yeah, I mean, this, you can see as it moves up the eastern seaboard, it's going to absolutely turn into a nor'easter and clobber the northeastern portions of the United States. So if you have some travel up in there, then keep that in mind. For us, again, high pressure, large and in charge the next few days will be good. But you've got another system moving in here, and so by the time we get into Friday, here at 7 a.m., you've got a little bit of light snow breaking out towards us, and of course Friday's Valentine's Day, and right now it's not looking like a very great Valentine's Day. It looks warmer than what we have seen, but we're looking into the low 30s right now, and according to the Euro model here, we can see a little bit of snow showers on Friday as well. That system then moves out, and then you've got the next system moving in, and here's what I mean if I just sort of back it up. Notice this little system right here. This is the system that's currently off of here. I said it would rotate around and then starts to take a nosedive down this way. I want you to notice what the Euro model does with this, and it just tracks it, if I can get it right here, right over central Indiana. Now that would put some accumulating snows for central and northern portions of Indiana, and then for us, not as much, but a little bit of minor snow with it as well. Now the gem I'm not showing you, which is the Canadian model, it'll also is very much in line with the Euro model. Unfortunately, the good old GFS has to be a party pooper and not line up with that well, which makes a forecast difficult at this point. Here we are on Friday, and according to the GFS, we've just maybe got some light snow showers to deal with on Friday. So it's in line there, not as heavy as what the Euro model shows, but they're still there. Watch how this develops. Here we are on Friday night at 7 p.m. You got the Clipper system here. As we move down, excuse me, as we move down, just watch how this tracks way to the north of us. In fact, this would give a pretty decent accumulating, excuse me, I'm fighting a cold, folks. This would give a pretty decent accumulating snow event for folks up in Michigan and, areas towards Detroit and up in this. Could get some snow out of this according to the GFS. The Euro model, again, tracks this maybe 100, maybe even 200 miles to the south of there. So that would bring the snow closer to us. Let me show you that. Let's look at the GFS first. The GFS, again, the bulk of the snow up to the north, very minor accumulations for us. Probably would be at next to nothing because I think with the GFS we would be just too warm to see anything out of it. Euro model, on the other hand, again, not a whole lot for us, but it does bring the snow a lot closer towards us, so it's a trend that we would want to have to watch. Either way, it looks like we would be warm enough that down here in far southwestern portions of Indiana, say the Evansville area and along the Ohio River, that we wouldn't have any snow to deal with at this point on Saturday, the way things look. But we'll see. It's going to be a matter of the two models. Could it trend a little bit further to the south? It's possible. Again, some of those models were saying that yesterday. Again, this is going to flip-flop back and forth. And just for good measure, the Canadian agrees very similar with the European model. And it takes that, excuse me, takes that snowpack even a little bit further to the south. So it's something that we're going to have to watch. Beyond this system, though, we could be looking at a decent-sized warm-up no matter what it does. Then we get another rain event moving in here. Now, the GFS does not make it a pretty significant rain event, but if I switch over here to the Euro model, it actually takes a pretty decent-sized heavy rain event for us on Monday. So warms us up into the 40s, though, too, so that'll be kind of nice. Then beyond that, going into the extended range, we get a little bit of a more of a warming trend. You see, the blue lines go well to the north, so that's the cold air lifting back up in Canada, and this is going to be one of those beautiful things. Unfortunately, with that return of warmer weather could end up being a chance for severe weather, as I've mentioned the past couple of days. Here we are at hour 288. We're at 1 o'clock here on Saturday the 22nd. And just take a look at this. You've got a strong low pressure moving right in close to us, a cold front behind it, warm front north of us. And I want you to look at temperature-wise what it does at that time. It takes us almost to 70 degrees here in southwest Indiana, folks. You don't get a 70-degree weather at this particular point in time unless you want severe weather in February. So that's something that we're going to have to watch out. Now, is every parameter in place? Way too far out to tell that, but here you can get the general idea that pretty significant little system moving in. So again, something that we will have to watch in coming days to see exactly what happens. Now, beyond this system, the model doesn't see out that much further, but you see a cool down behind it. So the other thing that I want to point out is whenever you get a big time warm up like that, you always have to worry about what comes behind that system. So right now it just looks like a cold high pressure behind the system, but yeah, we may briefly see close to the 70 mark, but it's not going to be staying around forever, unfortunately. Could this be a pattern changer? Right now I don't see it. I do see the pattern changing just enough to get us more of a normal. And remember, normal is about a 45-degree temperature for us. So I see some return to more normal temperatures over the coming couple of weeks. But unfortunately, I don't see a big-time warm-up that would suggest early spring yet. That would be nice, but we don't see it yet. All right, you can go to southernindianaweather.com, folks, and you can get the latest 7-day forecast. It's going down to single digits tonight. I don't have them on here because I've just updated this. But expect anywhere from just below zero for some of our northern extents that have a decent-sized snowpack down to 4 or 5 degrees closer towards the Ohio River. It's going to be a very cold night no matter how you slice it. Mostly sunny and cold tomorrow with a high around 25. Again, single digits tomorrow night, partly cloudy the next few days with temperatures in the 30s. Boy, that's going to feel like a heat wave when we hit 38 on Thursday, isn't it? I'm looking forward to that. Much warmer winds as the winds start to turn towards the south and southwest. Then on Friday, Cloudy with a few snow showers possible. I don't see this being a big time accumulating event at this point. This would just be kind of an annoying snow. But if you're headed out with your sweetie on Valentine's night, just be aware that there could be a few slick spots as temperatures fall. We'll monitor it and we'll see how that comes. Hopefully that will turn into nothing. Saturday, what I've done with the forecast at this point is either say a chance of rain or snow because frankly it's just too up in the air at this point. The GFS is, excuse me, pretty much just a rain event. And, the others say a little bit of a snow event. So who's going to be right? Well, we'll just have to wait and see at this point. We'll put them both in the forecast and kind of compromise on temperatures. We'll fine tune on that as we get closer. And then look at this, up to 48 degrees on Monday. And this is one thing that the GFS and Euro both agree on, are warmer temperatures and rain on Monday. You know what? I'll take it to get temperatures that warm again. That's going to be a pretty nice break. So that's it for tonight's video, folks. Be sure to check us out on southernindianaweather.com. Be sure to go over to Facebook and like us as well, and hear our forecasts on the radio on 103.3 The Fix and 101 Country WBDC as well. So that's it for tonight, and we'll have another one of these tomorrow night, and we will see how things change for Southern Indiana weather. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great night, folks.